Welcome to Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. This case is really going to be hard for me to discuss, but it's very imperative that we do so. Hello everyone that's here. Hey Jackie. How you doing? Good to see you. Hi Chris. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, everyone. I really do appreciate that. How you been, Jackie? Let's go to Isaiah 1:17. Learn to do right. Seek justice. Defend the oppressed. Take out the cause of the fatherless. Plead the case of the widow. So, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is the use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use to its balance in favor of fair use. It's so good to see you. I missed you. Hey, David, good to see you too. Thanks for coming in. I'm doing a lot better. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I had an accident and I fell not too long ago. And with me seeing black and stars, even though it did not hit my head, that tells me I possibly had a concussion. So I had to get a lot of bed rest and relax. And I hate to say this, but, you know, whenever I go to get into the car, I have to use my hands to pick up my leg the rest of the way into the vehicle. Still got a lot of weakness. Hey there. So please pray for me. Yeah, this is a hard case to discuss, so please bear with me here. No, we're not inviting guests up there. But I would like to invite a guest, somebody who might like to come up and talk to. Here is this Oregon mother, Sarah Safranek, sentenced for killing 7-year-old son. The system failed her, and the system failed the son as well.
Woman accused of killing her son in February 2021 pleads guilty to her first-degree murder charge. She's sentenced to 35 years behind bars. Once again, this is coming from the Ogle County State's Attorney. Ogle County prosecutors say Safranek suffocated her son, Nathaniel Burton, on February 17th, 2021 at their Oregon home in the 400 block of South 10th Street. Burton did later die that day at a Dixon hospital, and Safranek must serve 100% of the sentence, followed by 3 years of mandatory supervised release.
If y'all didn't notice, it's actually Oregon, Illinois. So I just thought I'd let y'all know on that issue there too, okay? It is written up bigger. Sorry about that. I hate when I go to a link and then it just does, it changes the fonts and everything. Makes it small or too big. As long as I had to get it big. Hey, Peggy, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Steve. Thanks for all the support, everybody. So here is the gist of the story. At 5 months old, when a family from Sarah's old church knocked on the door, It was February the 13th, 2014. DCS came over and wanted the kids removed. So the family member took them that they could, if they took them, they could be around the child then. So this person was called and was asked, would you be willing to take one of the kids? The woman said yes. So they was going to come tomorrow, which was going to be February the 14th on Valentine's Day. Baby Nathaniel was in his bed in the pack and play and with things to wear. A blanket was wrapped around Nathaniel's head. Keep in mind, at 5 months old, the blanket around his head at 7 years old died face down under his covers. The first thing the mother said, well, was he'd like to play with blankets over his face. They took him for a bath. He was dirty. This was back when he was a baby, okay? He had cuts and scratches all over him. His cheeks were bright red and peeling like eczema. It was on his arms and his back as well. He had bug bites. The car seat cushions were pulled out. They were full of urine. When pack and play was unfolded, bugs literally were jumping out. Daycare said they had no signs of bonding with anyone. He was showing signs of neglect. The reason she did not abort Nathan is because she did not have a boy yet. If he had been a girl, she would have not been wanted at all, but it looked like he wasn't wanted at all here as well, right, y'all? So say that Nathaniel, or sorry you did not make it, but your life mattered. It mattered to us, okay? When he was a month old, she gave him away. Sarah said, I don't have a bond with him. I don't have a relationship with him. I don't want him. The boy kept being passed around from family who wanted him to the mother who didn't. Every time the system had to choose, and they chose the mother every time. When the family was given him, the woman remembered being told, Mom, you might want to feed him. He hadn't eaten all day. She called and reported, and she called Sarah. The lady in charge called Sarah. Can you believe that? Well, she was on the interview. Said, if this all happens again, we're going to remove all your kids permanently. So then they get called Monday, June the 30th. Director of LSA said there's nothing we can do about Sarah not feeding her baby. What do y'all think about that? Well, they are in a program. And then she was in Williamsburg, Virginia, or Vermont. I can't remember which. It looks like I put a BT, but I think it's Virginia, I thought. The father, Brian, got full custody. The judge never knew. He thought Brian was capable of taking care of the kids. But Brian told the judge he and Sarah was going to get a divorce, and they would not be residing together. So the judge felt comfortable giving Nathaniel to Brian. Thing is, they did not get separated. So that boy still stayed in that hell environment. So I think that the Brian needs to be charged as well. What say y'all? For lying to the judge? What y'all say? Nathaniel figured the route to home. He began screaming. So anyone, or Sarah, no one could be able to unbuckle Nathaniel. He was crying, knowing the pain his mom repeatedly done to him. One time his head looked gooey with blood. His family member asked what happened. So she replied, okay, he was running all around the kitchen and he hit his head on the table. But according to Nathaniel, he said, I was in the kitchen. I was drinking juice and I spilled it. Sarah got mad. She threw her phone at me. Blood went all over the place. She tried to strangle Nathaniel, smother him with a couch cushion, and sat on top of him. So let's go back to some of this other stuff that I had written down in the notes. So Nathaniel Burton had started out where a couple were interviewing Nathaniel, trying to build a case, trying to rescue Nathaniel from this hellacious home, right? Nathaniel, don't tell anyone. The interviewer says, why am I not supposed to tell anyone? Nathaniel, yeah, because you'll get everyone in trouble and I'll get in trouble and then I'll be more hurting. 7 months later, Nathaniel is dead. And he was saying in the interview, I don't care because I have to tell the truth. At 8:30, Nathaniel went to bed. His stepfather read him a book about Clipper the dog and tucked him in bed. 5.5 hours later, his mother is standing in the bedroom door. He's not breathing. He's not breathing. The dad finds Nathaniel face down under the covers in the bed. He was so pale and purple. 911 tells him to remove Nathaniel to the floor and do CPR until help arrives. This mom, Sarah Safranek, age 38, has changed her story 3 times. Her very first story is like, I woke up at 2:30 to let the dogs out. Went in to check on Nathaniel and I found him cold. I went to check on him, uncovered him, his legs were cold, his arms were barely warm, and went to give him a kiss and he wasn't breathing. The autopsy report came in. The police questioned the stepfather first. Here's a little about the conversation with that. The stepdad said, there were only 3 people in the home that night. Him, Sarah, and Nathaniel. Detective informed the stepfather, your son died of suffocation. It did not happen on its own. He was suffocated by somebody else. Sarah had said things like, I really think about hurting my kids. So that's what the detective was saying. Did she not say this? Because I heard her and other people have heard her say, I think about hurting my kids. Nathaniel had bitten into the interior of his lips. That's most likely where the blood came from. This happens when you are being suffocated. He had blood on his hand. He asked his stepfather, do you know where where the blood come from? He replied, not offhand, unless everything you are saying is true. See, he heard about it. He heard his son saying all about this, right? But nothing was done, right? Detective states, everything I am saying is true. It's not like somebody else came in and did it. Nobody went up to any of the windows anywhere in the house. It's snow. It's all snow covered. So nobody came into the house and did this. There would have been tracks, right, y'all? He did not accuse yet, but he has closed it every way that they can use as an excuse. The window, the snow, the math of 2 adults and one dead boy before anyone in the family realizes the doors are already locked. Your son reached out to other people over the last year. My mom's going to kill me, several people told the investigators since April. He told them, my mom's going to kill me. My mom comes into my bedroom and holds, sorry y'all, this is touching, I'm sorry. Holds a pillow over my head in the middle of the night. My mom turns the lights out when I'm in the tub and holds me underwater. Then the first is told to grandmother, Brian's mother. Here's the autopsy report. She was not surprised. She stated Nathaniel told her that mother comes in and puts a pillow over his face. And he says the words, I can't breathe. She also jumps on top of me with a full body. and he can't breathe. When did this happen? When did it? She replied, within the last couple of weeks. The bathtub, Daddy had to pry Mommy up of me because she tried to drown me. Grandma asked Nathaniel, how was school? What did she change the subject, y'all? He's right there pouring his heart out to his grandmother, right? I like school, but I don't like going home. Why? Mama, what's wrong? She's, Mom, I can't breathe. She won't let me breathe. She also sat on him and said, and he said he couldn't breathe. Well, she got him on Friday. She had him for the weekend. Friday night, he wouldn't sleep. He laid in bed with her because he wanted to cuddle. Any movement, he got freaked out. What's wrong? I'm scared. He didn't elaborate why. She took him home Sunday. He didn't need to elaborate why. He's already spilled his guts out to her. Who believes that too? Who believes that he shouldn't have to elaborate more when he just kept telling and telling that this is going on, right? Why should he elaborate more? Put in mind that she took him home Sunday and he was killed Tuesday night, just 2 days later. Hey there, Carlene. Good to see you. The mother made him walk to school and sitting at home. He had icicles on his eyelashes. This is when he was alive, okay? So she made him walk to school and sent him back home. He had icicles on his eyelashes. How bad is that, y'all? He even told his grandmama, Mama don't want me. It was documented his entire life. As we said with that lady that came in for church and how he was during that percent time, you know. So we get on further into the story. So come to find out, between Thanksgiving and New Year's, therapy contact was closed about 6 weeks before he was killed. There needed to be documents to be signed, but the family didn't sign any documents. So they went ahead and said, okay, case closed. No more therapy for you. So his last bit of hope, guess what? It dwindled down. He had no hope. There was all these people in his life. There were police officers when the other family members like, can y'all not do nothing? He don't want to go with the mama. Can y'all not do something? What do we got to return her? Well, we got to return him to her. Why? You already seen the things that she had done in the past. But we got to do it because they chose the mother, the abuser, over this little boy's life. Over the people who was genuinely there to help this little boy. What's wrong with the system? They said even the system even failed the mother because the mother was abused in some of the same ways. She was held down by her mother. She was starved. She was done in ways, some of the ways that this little boy was done. The system failed them all, y'all. And she didn't want the baby. She got a check when she kept getting him back. That's the only reason she wanted him back. And you cannot tell me that with the daddy living at home, he didn't notice anything at all. Even the daddy's mother had even said this was going on. Who agrees that the daddy needed to be arrested, or the stepfather, whoever it was that was living in the home at the time? Who believes that the father needed to be arrested too for the sake that he lied to the judge, saying they're fixing to get a divorce and she would no longer be in the home, right? He's just as guilty as her. He did not protect the child. He kept saying it ain't true about the little boy being abused. Yet all the medical proved he was. The bugs, the bites, the blood on his head. the times that, and even when he was 5 months old, having the towel wrapped around his head. This is pathetic. This is pathetic. I am disappointed with y'all in the state of Illinois. Come on now. So Oregon, Illinois. So this is actually in Illinois. We are very disappointed with you not protecting this guy. I was watching a video. This guy was going and telling so many different people. Even CPS knew about it. Nothing was done. Said, Mama's going to kill me. I'm afraid, don't go to her and tell her because, it's going to make it worse on me. And that's what happens. Well, how about the adults standing up to par? The adults standing up for the kid so that the kid didn't have to suffer anymore. Well, the kid had been shown love by these people who had wanted him. Why did they have to remove him from the family who was actually loving him and treating him good and putting him back with that abusive mother? The system, y'all need to go to jail for this kind of thing too. Y'all failed. Y'all should know a lot better than that. Now look at that picture of that little boy on the cover right here. Look at him. He did not deserve it. This makes me really sick to my stomach, y'all. I knew I had to tell this. I had another story as well, but I said, I got to tell this little boy's story. His name does not need to be forgotten. His name is Nathaniel Burton, age 7. There were other times that they tried to say that the sisters and other people did these acts to him. The mother did confess and say she did it. Then later on trying to say, well, my husband's trying to set me up. He's the one that did it. No, you did it. Innumerable times. And people knew about it. And they still had to hand you this precious boy. They were forced to from the system. I could understand how some parents would flee with a kid. I could understand how they try to get Underground Railroad and stuff like that. Go against what the law says because look, some kids are winding up dead because of this crazy crap. I don't understand how many times she tried to kill him. Well, she just got 35 years. To me, I think she needed the death penalty myself. I don't know either, Peggy. I never understand how this keeps happening, Again and again, children being given back to abusive parents. Like y'all know what happened to me with that person rescuing me up from underneath the house and I was bruised. My dad was dead. All of a sudden my door opened, y'all. Oh, wow. All of a sudden my front door just opened wide open. That's pretty creepy. But hold on a minute. I'm going to make sure nobody's right there, too. Hold on. Okay, I'm making sure it's locked that time. I had to lock the door, man. I can't believe the door just all of a sudden just came wide open. Wow. Like when that guy rescued me out from underneath the house, and then my dad was already dead. My stepmom, she was the one that was part of them, that beat me and put me under the house because of the demonic people. How do you go and these cops go and see a person, then they're bruised all over their body, can't hardly walk or nothing, and the person begs, please get them medical attention. But no. Oh, we got to return her back home. We got to return her back to that abuser, the ones that just left her into the house to die. Why? What's wrong with the system? Have we not learned better over all these years? I think we need to find out who's the people in charge, and I think we as survivors need to be writing these. And so, what gives? Why are you allowing this to continue? The CPS workers and all them that's involved as well, they need to be looked into. I look at this picture and he looks happy, right? And maybe that's a good picture when, he was around the people that actually loved him, right? But look how sweet and precious. He trusted, and most kids are afraid to tell. He had hope by telling he would get out of this situation. But guess what? He was failed. So how can that person say, he says that the mother did this to him? But then when he says, well, I'm scared of mom. I'm scared. But didn't elaborate. Was there really any more need to elaborate, right? Riddle me that. That's a kid already done poured his heart and soul out to so many people, begging for help, right? He was even starved and not fed a bottle. And was told, somebody told him, feed him. He ain't ate nothing today. And they seen what kind of parent it was. She was. Something is really wrong with the system. And we've been knowing that for a long time. So let's try to be beacons of hope and stand up for our children. Let's come together. Let's try to make a difference. We should know that these kids matter and know that you all matter too. I want to say thank you, everyone, and God bless you. Think of Nathaniel Burton, sweet, precious soul, taken too soon.